Welcome to the Jackie Scully Show. This is not your ordinary podcast. This is a space for heart-centered conversations, bold ideas, and transformative visions. I sit down with thought leaders and visionaries who are making waves in the world of heart, education, and consciousness. Together, we explore how we want to live, co-create, and thrive in 2025 and beyond. Every Friday, join me for inspirational and thought-provoking stories of everyday people creating extraordinary impact. These individuals are sparking waves of positive change, embodying the kind of impact we all aspire to create. This season, 3 powerful themes emerge: the heart of wholeness, exploring inner love, emotional balance, and our deep connection with awe; the future of education, rethinking learning through personalized pathways, collaborative growth, and community-driven transformation; and a new era of consciousness, expanding possibilities and how we live and thrive together. Come sit with me. Let's dream, build, and embody the world we wish to see. This is the Jackie Scully Show. Enjoy. Hello, welcome to the Jackie Scully Show. And today we have Diane and Charles Woodford with us. I'm so excited to have them both on because I have had Diane on my previous podcast, The Teacher's Story. And I've been on the podcast with Diane and Charles recently while they were in Paris. And we will be talking all about their journey to Paris today, amongst many other big, expansive topics. So thank you, Diane and Charles, for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
So just a little bit about Charles and Diane. Charles Woodford is a retired leader and manager with a passion for personal growth and service. He is a published author, mentor, speaker, co-host of Love Drops podcast, an avid world traveler. Charles is dedicated to the practice and teaching of Tai Chi, Qigong, and other holistic practices. A lifelong learner, he embraces the philosophy, sharing is caring. Diane Woodford is a retired critical healthcare professional and educator. She's also a published author, speaker, philanthropist, co-host of Love Drops podcast, and world traveler. With a deep commitment to serving humanity, Diane focuses on mentoring young women and raising the energy wherever she goes. Charles and Diane are currently on a remarkable journey, embodying love in action as One Love ambassadors, spreading love around the globe. These are some of the most amazing humans that you will get to have the pleasure to listen to today. We're going to talk about their journey to Paris and then how that leads into becoming One Love ambassadors. And of course, how they became self-published authors and launching their Love Drops podcast. So many big things to talk about. So let's just get into it. Like, tell us a little about this journey and how Paris was like this big manifestation for both of you and how that all kind of came to be. I'm so excited to hear more about this.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for having us, Jackie. And yes, you were part of that manifestation in Paris because we actually interviewed you in Paris. We were in Paris when we last spoke, virtually. But getting back to the journey, it was about a 10-year journey in progress. When we launched to go to Paris, we thought, okay, we put all our plans in place and we thought we'd be there in the next few months. Little did we know, it was a 10-year, almost incredible journey.
Yes, we had our plans. We planted seeds. We prepared accordingly to our plans, which didn't manifest the way we had anticipated, but we got there. It was a 10-year journey, but we finally made it there to Paris.
I guess a big part of it is a lot of times you hear that saying where it says it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And that became very true for Charles and I and our journey to Paris, because Paris started out to be the destination and it soon just began to get pushed into the background because the journey, it was all about the journey. We soon discovered that Paris was used to activate us to come out of our comfort zone and to embark on the journey, which had us going crisscross around the United States, had us going from place to place, places we didn't even know about, and just going in and spreading love, just going in on assignments, going in and allowing ourselves to be divinely placed into various communities and places all around the world to spread love. Just saying yes to the adventure. And that's what that journey to Paris did for us.
We have met so many interesting people all over the United States prior to Paris, and we're still in contact with those folks as well. So it was a predetermined journey that we didn't know about, but we welcomed, and we did the best on all occasions and
Yeah.
with all the people that we met.
Yeah.
Yes, I've enjoyed every minute of it.
That's remarkable. I just want to interject before you continue. Like, it feels divinely guided. Like, it feels like, I love this idea of it's about the journey, but a seed had to be planted to get you on that path to say, I'm going to surrender to wherever life's going to take us. But you have an end result, which you think is an end result, but it's not. It's just really like that seed. And so I really connect and resonate with that, because I've been kind of on that journey the last couple of years as well. And sometimes you're like, it's just a job, or it's just a home, or it's just a vacation or trip. But then it may take 2 years to get there, 3 years, 10 years, when you think it's months, because all those other things needed to happen. And you had to, like you said, bring your light, bring your love to so many other places. And then when you get to that moment, you're in Paris, you're like, this is literally happening. This is literally happening. And we talked about this 10 years ago. So why Paris? I just want to know that, because I don't know if I really fully talked to you about that, but why this particular place? I mean, it's a beautiful city of lights, right? You got to spend your birthday there, the holidays there, everything, which is amazing. But why that? And then a little bit more on how this all actually came to be.
Awesome. So Paris was my dream. I've always been a writer, and I've always just been fascinated with all things Paris, all things French, all things France, right? And in the process of this journey, what I discovered is Charles and I are both from, sorry, Charles and I are both from Detroit. Detroit is a city that was created by the French. So I didn't even know that until I went back into the history. So I was born into a place that was settled by the French. And I just feel like it was some of that essence that just pulled me even before I knew I was being pulled. And once I got to Paris, it's like everything aligned, click, clack, click. It made sense. A lot of questions that I've always had made sense. I got a lot of answers. Like my soul felt like it was now in place, in sync.
I didn't know that about Detroit either. Such cool information. And I'm a history teacher, and I did not know that. So that is really cool. Yeah. And then going to a place and then you feel it, like you feel your energy there. Yeah. Charles, what were you going to share
Yes.
with that?
Well, and being born and raised in Detroit as well, I had to look back and didn't realize it, didn't fully realize it. A lot of folks that know me thought I would have been off on a journey to some Eastern country or something of that nature. But little did I know that Paris was calling. I just had to answer that call. I didn't know that. But once there, wow, just a giant wee wow. It was fantastic for me. It was a step out of my normal course of things, but fantastic.
Yeah, it was definitely an alignment because I knew the call and Charles supported me in the call, which is a great way to pivot to the One Love Ambassador, because it's definitely a yin and yang, an exchange of energy in supporting each other as we support and love on others. We start with ourselves.
Yeah. And you've done such great humanitarian work. You continue to feel called to certain places. So while you're in Paris, I remember you were telling me we're gonna, after we go back to, you were in Portugal, we're gonna come back to the United States, reconvene. We're going to LA because of the wildfires that were happening. And you felt that call to be like, this is the time we spent here, because you didn't know how long you were going to be in Paris or Europe. And then there was that call again. So again, being divinely guided. So if you want to maybe share a little bit about from your journey then to fulfilling this dream in Paris, and then this call coming back to the United States. And also we talked about it, what that felt like being gone for so long. You're gone for months, and then to come back with so many things happening at the beginning of this new year.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting that you said we didn't know how long we would be there, because we really did go there with a plan to be there for about 80 to 90 days before we would have to, just reset and come up with our next plan. But we had found a way to do that in Europe. So it's interesting that you said that, because we were discussing how we could continue our time in Europe when the call in Portugal came to, just into our souls to go to California. We were actually having lunch, and I looked at Charles and I said, we have to go to California. And he just gave me this look like, why? But with a knowing, he knew I was speaking from my soul, but it was like, why?
Yeah, well, initially when Diane mentioned California, I thought about our grandkids in California. I say, oh, she's feeling it again. And then I realized the call was more than that. It was a humanitarian call. What can we do to help? So that was a bigger picture. And I'm so glad that we did. And we did involve our grandkids as well, as we were out helping where we can, where the call was coming from. We answered that call.
Yeah, we did. We did. And it's just like with our kids, as you know already, Jackie, kids learn from what we do, not so much what we say. So just taking our grandkids out there and just allowing them to see uh, that there are people in great need, it not only helped them and gave them a sense of, service, but it also seated within them gratitude, gave them gratitude for the things that they do have. And they're grateful kids, pretty much. But it helped to plant that seed as well. Yeah. And talk about divine call. When we went out there, we went out to help the victims of the wildfire. They were getting so much help. We were divinely redirected.
Mhm.
So we thought we were going in to the areas that were affected, which we did. We did do some of that, but the majority were in outlier areas with the homeless, because a
Mm.
lot of the focus was on the fire victims. And so the homeless population has increased because there's more people without homes, but the homeless population that was already there was kind of feeling the results because resources were being poured into the fire. So we got a chance to go and help people that were already homeless.
Yes, and
Wow.
yeah, that was gratifying within itself. One
Yeah.
thing led to another as we continued with our humanitarian efforts and meeting folks. And they felt as if they knew us when we came to them. It was so gratifying. They felt our hearts for theirs.
Yeah.
I love that kind of being called to one place, but then redirect it, because you truly are following like where you're supposed to be going. And thank you for bringing attention to the homeless and talking about that in general, but just in this situation, because we all get glued onto screens, on the news, the big story. I'm sure right now no one's talking about California or LA, right? No one was talking about the wars. They're still going on. But then they don't think about the other people that are impacted who have been already struggling and dealing with a lot. And then this is like trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, right? So the fact that you got to see that and like, okay, these areas have a lot of resources. We're here. We were called here. Let's use our energy, our time, our resources, the donations that you had coming in for the best outcome, which is like, let's really help people that are not getting any attention at all. So I did not know that. And I'm so glad to highlight that for the work that you're doing on the show today. So thank you so much.
Yes, it is definitely our pleasure. It's definitely our blessing as well. We're blessed to be able to bless others. And it's so amazing, right, Charles? Because it's like, what's the catch? We went to this a couple of churches and centers, and they're like, kind of like, what's in it for you? And it's like, no, there is no catch. It's like we came from South Carolina here to just spread love and be a part of the solution. So there is no catch. There's no catch in love. And that's what we're doing. We're One Love ambassadors. And it's like, yeah, you sure are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
some of the individuals would ask us when we would give them gift cards, and they'd ask, how much? And I say, it's love. It's for you. There's no catch. How much do I have to pay? Use it. Use it. And we left. And it was so gratifying to do that, that they were just amazed that folks were giving things with no cost but love.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Sometimes we say pay it forward, just like when pushed. So it's just like, just go and do this for someone else in your own unique way. So however that looks for you, you then go and you spread love. Keep it going.
Yeah, I love that message, because anyone could be a One Love ambassador. You don't have to fly across the country if you cannot do that. Or, if you can't somehow get all these donations for gift cards, but like even just a helping hand or finding someone in need or someone who just needs a pick me up. Like I've been talking to quite a few people recently. I was on a call yesterday with a friend who his daughter's really struggling to get a job for like 2 years. And I'm feeling the call because so many people helped me on my journey, you know, you two, one of them giving me great energy on my job journey, that I feel called that there's people coming into my life recently that need help. And so even just getting on a call, making connections, giving them resources, giving them LinkedIn connections, anything I can do that at least is moving the needle for them, you just feel it, and it happens, and it's planted in your life for a reason. And I
Yes.
think, kind of segueing into some of the other works, that you are beautiful creators, both are self-published authors. Diane especially has, influenced me to be a self-published author. When I first was writing my book, she was there holding my hand along the way, giving me a lot of support, sending me her book that I have referenced many times. Clearly Ready, it's a beautiful book. And then your podcast, Love Drops, which is, you literally are dropping love out, across the world on this beautiful podcast. So just more about how this One Love ambassador and your mission is also funneling into these other creative works that you've been doing in your life.
Yeah. So the books were a part of that journey to Paris. So one of the things we were going to do when we got to Paris is we're going to go and we're going to write books. We're going to sit on the left bank with our pads and we're going to just, create and write books. Well, again, it was taking a little bit longer than we had planned, a lot. And so we wrote the books in the process. And that's just so key, Jackie. It's like, don't wait to get to the destination. Do the things that you can along the way in the journey. So by the time we got to Paris, I had written and published 2 books. One I'm holding to launch. I'll be launching that soon. And Charles?
Yes, I was working on some things with meditations along the way. And some of the folks that I met were inspiration to do that. So I'm writing as well.
What about your book, babe?
And my book, the book that I published, Tai Chi Secrets with Master Woody, a holistic way for life, that came into play quite often. Some of the exercise and things in there I was able to share with a lot of folks. And they were just amazed that they can do these things. I loved it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm all into like all of that kind of ancient Asian wisdom and healing. because I recently have been coming into that as well. And I would love to read your book about Tai Chi. I know very little about it, but I know it's like amazing for your body, your mind, soul, all of that.
We'll get a book to you, Jackie. We'll get one to you. Yeah, we'll get it in the mail. I think we have a couple. Um, but yeah, so we wrote our books, and then it's so interesting because in Paris, I did start working on my third book. So I'm excited about that journey. Um, it'll be coming out soon, soon. And also, just the podcast. The podcast came from the pandemic. So, like during the pandemic, it was so much despair, so much loss of hope, sadness, heaviness. And we started doing videos. Just one morning, I woke up and it's like, drop a video. I was on Instagram at the time. Drop a video, just less than 5 minutes. Just drop a video, drop some love. Just drop some love into the day. So every day for probably about 60 days, we were just doing these videos. It started with me. I was dropping them, and then Charles was like, well, I want to be a part of this. And so then we both start doing it. And what that did is it pulled us into launching our podcast, because we had been on that journey and launched a podcast for about 5 years before that. We kept saying, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to do a podcast. And so the videos propelled us to start the podcast, which, Charles, tell her about the beginnings of our podcast.
Oh, the beginning. We started out in a closet. That was our sound room. Yeah, we would get into a closet, and then attending some of the workshops on podcasts and reading books on it. We just did it.
Yeah, we started out in the closet with our cell phones, and the closet was our sound room. We had bought equipment, but the equipment, it was like, okay, this is just, it's too much to try to learn this and learn how to do this podcast at the same time. We need to simplify. So we sent all the equipment back, grabbed our cell phones, got on it's Spotify now, but I think it was like Anchor podcast, someone told me. And we just got our phones and started doing the podcast, pretty much not edited or anything. We've come a long way, but we're still getting there. But yeah.
No, that was truly amazing. We just went forward and did it. We just did it, and the pieces fell into place.
Yeah.
And things we smoothed out, improved on, and kept moving forward.
Exactly. And even our team came in place. When we started, we would have loved to start with a team of people, someone to edit, someone, to do our thumbnails, previews, and all of that. But that's not how it started. And that's like that with most journeys and dreams. It's how bad do you want it? Do you want it enough that you will start with what you have and get to what you want?
Yeah.
So now, over 200 episodes later, we're out there. Amazon actually came to us and invited us onto their platform.
Cool.
So, and that was about a year ago. We're nationwide on a radio station, syndicated, YouTube, just we're out there. But it all started in the closet with a cell phone, because it was important for us to get those love drops out there.
Yeah. And it's not, I love the idea of starting in a closet, because they say ideally, if you don't have like a soundproof room, record in a closet, because like the clothes and everything is good for sound. But I like the idea of you don't have to really know fully what you're doing, and you're not looking for perfection, because if you get into the mechanics of making a podcast and you move further away from the why and the mission, then you may never do it, or you just spend your whole mind in the weeds of the mechanics of it and perfecting that, and then the message gets like diluted. That's how I kind of started mine too. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't have any equipment at all. I've been using Zoom because it works for me, and I don't really think, if you have a good editing platform, It doesn't really matter what you're kind of recording on. But it was like you felt again the call. I just have to get this message of dropping love out there. And I want to just start doing it. And I think the pandemic was an opening for people because we were isolated and so much loss and everyone was struggling with mental health and all of that. There was a pull at those that are awakened, starting to awaken, have some kind of connection to something bigger, to do something to help people in whatever platform that was, or to have these messages of love when people really needed to hear that. And from that point, you really, it's not just a podcast, it goes into your whole One Love ambassadors. Like you have a whole platform, you have a whole website, you have people who donate, and you drop love, physical love drops all over. So if there's anything else you want to share about kind of what has come out of that podcast.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you mentioned the website because that was actually first. We did the website first, not knowing. We did the website under that concept. If you build it, it will come. So we built the website to really write and blog. And then came the podcast. And then came the docu-series that is still in the works, covering our journey. Um, and then came the books, so things just became stationary on that platform, but we built the platform first.
Yes, and seeds of love just have grown all types of things. As Diane had mentioned about our podcast and the website, Paths to Transformation, those things were just evolving right before us. And we looked at each other in amazement into how it was growing. And in our travels, we would pull over to places and send out messages right there. So it was it has been and is a fantastic journey.
Yes, and I would be amiss if I did not say from the start, the conception of the website, we have used it to allow other writers to come on. We have used it for sharing love. Before we even came up with love drops, we were doing random acts of kindness. We were doing socks drops. We were just doing service out there. And so eventually it evolved where there's like a donate. So if people want to help to support the journey, as far as Charles and I, we're divinely taken care of. When you are on a divine journey, you will be taken care of. So everything that we need is absolutely there for us. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to think about the house because when we need it, it finds us. It finds us just like we find our assignments.
Yes. And you are doing good service and caring for so many people that when you hold that, you know that you will be taken care of because
absolutely
God, universe, divine, whatever you believe in, wants to have you do this type of mission work, this service work, which is love, because it only helps grow humanity, grow the connection, grow us into a place of peace. And so you really do surrender into that because I know that it's very easy to get into your human self of like, well, how am I going to pay the bills and how am I going to do all of this? And it's like, if you just surrender to being called and doing good work, things will work out.
Absolutely.
I know over the last few years, I've been focusing more on the what and less on the hows. The hows just seem to show up and be there for us. I don't know how, but it does. I focus on the what.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, both of you. There's so much more we could share. So we'll have to see about a part 2 as see where this journey of the Jackie Scully show continues. But thank you both for coming on. We will plug all of your information in the show notes. You can go to their website, Paths to Transformation. You can donate if you like, just read some great blogs and stories about Diane and Charles and other people they feature and learn more about their journey. And I'll plug your Love Drops podcast in there, your books. You really got to check these two humans out. They are doing great service in the world. I am blessed to be connected with both of you. And it's all shared humanity, right? We're all connected. So going back to like when the homeless, you were working with them and they were like, what's the catch, right? At the end of the day, we're all brothers and sisters, you know, and not to
Right.
sound like so cliche with that, but it's true. We come from one source. Like, we are human. We have a human shared experience in how we feel and how our bodies work in this environment that we're in. So it's just being called to take care of one another, you know?
Yes, I
One
love that.
love.
Yes,
Yes, one
exactly.
love.
It's absolutely one love. And I just wanted to throw in also that on our blog site, we captured our whole European journey. We were actually in Europe for 80 days. So in addition to Paris, we also got to go to Lisbon and Porto, Portugal. And we also did YouTube videos on it. So there's so much out there to see because somebody may be listening and like, yeah, is this smoke? Is this smoke and mirrors? Absolutely not. We are not smoke and mirrors. And you can go and follow the journey. You can go and support the journey. You can go and be a part of the journey because, like you said, we're all humans and it really is one love.
Yes, and we've included a lot of the folks that we've met on our journey there in Paris. So you can get a real flavor for what it was like for us as well through the
Yeah.
people that we've met.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely more than a just ordinary travel vlog. Like, you really can feel the call and the mission and the work that you're doing and the experience, the way you both write and share in your videos. And you could feel that, I don't know, that energy of like, it's bigger than just like, oh, we wanted to go to Paris, we went to Paris. Like, it's
Yes.
just bigger
Oh
mission
my
work.
God. And you know what? I almost forgot. But we were there for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so it was just like, we didn't even wonder, like, oh my God, we're not going to be with our family for Thanksgiving. It's going to be a bummer. We didn't think that. And guess what? We were invited onto a farm in Obidos, Portugal, and we had an incredible time for Thanksgiving. It was one of the best Thanksgivings ever. And then Christmas,
Christmas was fantastic, as well as Diane's birthday. We
yeah,
celebrated
Yeah.
that as well.
but Christmas we got with a group of people and we had the Misfit Christmas. So all of this is on the videos. Like you
Yeah,
get to see these people that we just met on the journey. So
oh,
it's real.
it's fun.
Like
It's a lot
it's
of fun.
real and it is
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, and their
Yeah.
food pictures. Oh, I mean,
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
have these two places on my radar. Like, you know, of course I'd want to go to Paris. Everyone goes to Paris. Portugal has come up, but the food has me. I'm like ready to go. Let's just go and do a
Wow.
food tour. Yeah. So you're an
Yeah.
inspiration, both of you. If anything, check these two wonderful humans out. Check all of their links in the show notes and feel free to connect with them. They're wonderful. They will inspire you if you're feeling like, how do I get my call in life? How do I know like what I'm supposed to be doing? If you just listen and maybe read their books, listen to their podcast, it will inspire you to tap into that intuition and that connection to something higher, to say like, maybe there is something bigger than me, right? Maybe there is something bigger than just sitting in my life and being like, I don't know, why am I here? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what's my purpose? Listen to these two folks. You will totally be inspired, and it will make you want to think a little bit bigger about your life and your purpose here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us, Jackie.
We really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.